Hey, beautiful souls. Come sit with me for a moment. I want to share something really close to my heart today. Something I've never talked about this openly before. It's about validation and how desperately I used to chase it from everyone except the one person who mattered most. Myself. You know that feeling when you post something on social media and then refresh it every 5 minutes to see how many likes you got? Or when you say something in a group and immediately scan everyone's faces to see if they approve? Yeah, that was me for most of my life. And I'm talking about way more than just social media. I'm talking about every decision, every outfit choice, every opinion I shared, every dream I dared to voice. I remember this one specific moment that really opened my eyes. I was 26, sitting in my friend Sarah's living room, and I was telling her about this idea. I had to start my own business. But instead of just sharing my excitement, I found myself watching her face, waiting for her nod of approval before I could even finish my sentence. When she looked uncertain for just a split second, probably because she was processing what I was saying, I immediately started backtracking. I mean, it's probably stupid anyway, I said. I don't know what I was thinking. That night, I went home and really looked at myself in the mirror. Not at my appearance, but at who I was becoming. And what I saw broke my heart. I saw someone who had handed over their power to everyone else. Someone who couldn't make a single decision without consulting the invisible jury of other people's opinions that lived in my head. The truth is, I had turned other people into gods. Their approval became my oxygen. Their disapproval felt like death. I was living my life through their eyes, measuring my worth through their reactions, and it was slowly killing the real me, the authentic me, who had dreams and opinions and quirks that might not always be palatable to everyone. I started tracing back when this all began. I think it started in childhood, like it does for so many of us. I was the kid who desperately wanted to be the teacher's pet, who changed my answers on tests if I saw what the smart kid next to me wrote, who laughed at jokes I didn't find funny just to fit in. I learned early that love and acceptance seemed conditional, dependent on how well I performed, how agreeable I was, how much I could mold myself into what others wanted. But here's what I didn't realize until much later. Seeking validation from others isn't actually about them. It's about the relationship you have with yourself. When you don't believe you're enough on your own, you outsource that belief to other people. You make them responsible for your self-worth. And that's not fair to them. And it's definitely not fair to you. The breaking point came when I realized I didn't even know what I actually liked anymore. Someone would ask me my favorite color, and I'd panic internally because I'd automatically think, what color would they want me to say? I had become so disconnected from my own inner voice that I couldn't hear it anymore, over the constant chatter of what will they think? What do they want? How can I make them happy? So I made a decision that terrified me. I decided to stop. Just stop. Stop asking for opinions on every little thing. Stop fishing for compliments. Stop changing my personality depending on who I was with. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Let me be honest, it was incredibly uncomfortable at first. When you've been using other people's validation as a drug, going cold turkey feels awful. I remember the first time I posted something on Instagram without asking 3 friends if it was okay first. My anxiety was through the roof. I kept reaching for my phone to delete it, convinced everyone would think I was stupid or attention-seeking. But you know what happened? Nothing catastrophic. The world didn't end. People didn't hate me. In fact, some people told me they appreciated my authenticity more than ever. The real work, though, happened in the quiet moments. I started having conversations with myself. Actual conversations. I'd sit with my journal and ask myself, what do I really think about this? Not what I think I should think, not what would make me look good, but what do I actually feel? It was like excavating myself from years of sediment. Layer by layer, I started uncovering the person I'd buried under everyone else's expectations. And she was different than I thought. Quirkier, more opinionated, more creative, sometimes more difficult. But she was real. She was mine. I learned to sit with the discomfort of other people potentially disagreeing with me. I practiced saying, "I don't know," instead of pretending to have opinions I didn't actually have. I started making decisions based on what felt right to me, not what would get me the most approval. One of the biggest shifts was learning the difference between healthy consideration of others and toxic people-pleasing. It's okay to care what people think. We're social beings. But there's a difference between considering someone's feelings when making a decision and letting their potential reactions control your entire life. I also had to learn that some people wouldn't like this new version of me. When you stop being a mirror that reflects back what everyone wants to see, some people get uncomfortable. They might prefer the version of you that was more agreeable, more malleable. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be in your life forever, especially if they only liked the inauthentic version of you. The most beautiful thing that happened was that I started attracting different kinds of relationships. When you show up as yourself, really yourself, you magnetize people who love you for who you actually are. My friendships became deeper. My romantic relationships became more genuine. Even my family dynamics shifted as I stopped performing and started just being. I won't lie and say it's been easy. Even now, there are moments when that old pattern tries to resurface. When I'm about to share something vulnerable, when I'm in a new environment, when I'm feeling insecure, that voice still whispers, "But what will they think?" The difference is, now I hear it and I gently redirect myself back to my own truth. Here's what I want you to know if you're struggling with this too. You are already enough. You don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. You don't need anyone's approval to take up space in this world. Your worth isn't determined by how many people like you, or agree with you, or think you're impressive. The validation you're seeking from others? You can give that to yourself. You can be your own biggest cheerleader, your own best friend, your own source of approval. And when you fill that cup from within, anything you receive from others becomes a beautiful bonus, not a desperate necessity. Start small. Make one decision today without asking anyone else's opinion. Share one authentic thought. Say no to something you don't want to do, even if it might disappoint someone. Trust that the right people will love you for who you really are, not who you think you should be. Your authentic self is not a backup plan. She's the main event. She's been waiting patiently for you to remember who you are underneath all those layers of performance and people-pleasing. You don't need their validation, beautiful. You never did. You just need to remember that you've always been enough, exactly as you are. Thank you for sitting with me today and letting me share this piece of my heart with you. I hope it reminds you of your own beautiful, worthy, authentic self.